So I've taken out a small loan and filled the Dragon Wagon with petrol because it's my birthday tomorrow. And what a better way to give myself a little pre-birthday treat than head north up to my favourite war game show, do some filming and do some shopping. Yes, today on Dragon's Teeth we're heading for Partizan. Here we are, and what I'm going to do today is, rather than film everything, I'm going to have a wander around, see what games catch my eye, see what trade stands catch my eye, and focus in a little bit more on those. But as you can see, it's about 10:30. It's already very busy. In fact, it took a while to find a parking space. So I would say, if anything, there's more people than last year here already. Let's take a wander down this way. And the first table I'm going to look at is the Forest Outlaws. This is War in the Pacific using bolt action. And a very nicely laid out table, as you can see. Jungle terrain. We've got what looks like an airstrip at the other end. Bolt action is not a game I've actually played. Chain of Command is the most recent set of sort of modern World War II rules I've played. And of course I have a quite an extensive collection of older World War II rule sets, all the way back to the old WRG rules. But bolt action I've never tried. There is, I think, someone at the Wellingborough Club running some bolt action intro games, so I shall give those a try sometime. There's our airstrip. So yeah, very nice looking game. Now, keeping in the same era, we have the Very British Civil Forum present their latest demonstration game, The Beat Goes On. This is 1938, a very British Civil War. So a kind of alternative history, just pre or on the eve of World War II game. And again, we've got a very nice table layout there. Nice long table. Let's go and have a closer look. And we have what look like some Indian troops here, some Sikh troops. And they seem to be attacking some sort of defensive position or redoubt in the middle here. And at the far end of the table, we have some other units. Can't quite reckon these. Is that a French tank? I'm sure someone can let me know. Very nice village. And one thing I'm liking with this game is, as well as the actual buildings being very nice, there's quite a significant amount of livestock as well on the table. Adds a lot of flavour, I think. Does the winner get to have bacon? Does the winner get to have bacon?
Oh yeah. I left my livestock in the box.
And splendid table. Presents the God of War. Take a look at this. Again, another huge table. And we've got everything here. We've got aircraft. We've got artillery. We've got boats, various descriptions. And there's a railway down the middle there. And look at that marvellous terrain. Cheers. We've got these marvellous sort of rocky outcrops. I'm guessing from the nature of the terrain, we're in the Far East. We've got a Buddha temple there. We've got what looks like a Chinese building or temple on the top there.
Well, that's pretty decisive,
We've got an armoured train. I take it that's Russian with the red star on the side. And yeah, definitely a Russian plane there. Yeah, splendid layout. And I take it these are the rules, or at least a supplement for the rules. Set in the Easter Blaze, 3rd edition. Totally unfamiliar to me, but that looks like a set of interwar rules, 1917 to 1926. I do like a good skirmish game, as you'll know. And here we have Skirmish World Games presents Trench Raid, First World War. And of course the challenge with First World War is always that trench system. That's quite a lot of building to get a good layout. And this looks like we're using 1/35 or 54mm figures here. Very nicely done. We've got, it's like a raiding party. Let's have a look at the table. Again, another splendid layout. And then 54mm as well. So this looks like an extensive trench system that is going to be raided, I imagine. And we've got some nice little touches like this downed plane. Is that a Spad? Can't remember. And no man's land, looking suitably wired and cratered and grim. And we are back in the Far East again for this table. Another fantastic layout. And just look at this building over here. So we're in Japan this time. This is the Iron Brigade. This is the assault on Kawajima Castle 1564-ish, it says here. So it's a fictitious game set in the Sengoku period of Japan's history. A turbulent time of constant war between rival daimyo. And Takada Shingen, there's a name I recognise from my interest in samurai skirmish games. Used to do quite a lot of that. So a castle siege. So this is the Light and Heavy Brigade, 1854. We have some books laid out here. Of course, Partizan is largely a historical wargaming event, so there's always a lot of background knowledge goes into these games. Whether they're representing an actual battle or a fictitious one, you can be sure there's been a lot of research done. And I'm not sure if this is cannon smoke or mist or fog, but very effective. And now we go over to Shrewsbury War Game Society. Now, we had one great castle there. Look at this one. Fantastic.
That's the beauty of this.
It's a marvellous model and a bigger table here, so I take it this is another castle siege.
They're all over the wall.
We've got our outlying building here. And take a look at this. This looks like a temple, Shinto temple perhaps.
In fact, I did.
And this is just one side of the table because you can see we've got this interesting sort of U-shaped setup, and we've got a load of stuff going on the other side there as well. And I do like this. This is something I've been doing with my Innsmouth buildings, particularly the Temple of Dagon. You put in one of those little battery-operated tea lights inside, gives a great effect. Really brings life to a building, I think. And this is a village. Again, we've got some livestock out there. And what looks like raiders coming in to attack, perhaps. So this is Shrewsbury War Games Society. Fantastic stuff. Now we have another skirmish game. This is using here's the Ruckus rule set, which is a fairly new rule set, I think, medieval skirmish. And again, a fantastic layout. I think what I'm seeing here is, you know, we've got all the usual components of a war games table, trees and terrain and troops and all that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of effort to add in all these little details. We've got a gibbet there, we've got the shepherd and the sheep. A blockade across the road there. So yeah, it's a real effort to make it, you know, it's a far cry from the days of the old Sabutio cloth turned upside down with some books underneath. Because of course back then we were very restricted in what sort of terrain we could put out. But it does add a lot of atmosphere, I think. We've even got some beehives down there.
Bracken like the plant. Brilliant.
And the obligatory pigs again.
This will be your email address, and I'll send you
And I think we can get some flavour of the sort of game this is just from the characters here. So Edwin Slackbladder and his sidekick Bald Dick. Yes, indeed. Oh my word! Look, excellent. We've even got the baby-eating Bishop of Bath and Wells. There he is in all his perverted glory. What club is this? What club are you from?
Oh, this is the Ruckus. So we're the Ruckusteers.
Right.
This is my game. I'm Mike Peters. I wrote this game.
Ah, right. Cause I've seen it in the magazines a little while
right.
back.
Yeah.
I say I enjoy a good skirmish game, so it's nice to see.
Oh yeah, well this is definitely a skirmish game. Yeah.
And I'm just saying, it's lovely. It's what you see in games now. You've got the terrain, you've got the figures, but then you've got lambs, you've got a gibbet, you've got all this extra stuff as well. Dressing, like set dressing.
Yeah. I mean, you probably wouldn't bother with this in a weekly game, would you? But for here, you make an effort.
Yeah.
Last year we came here. We actually won the prize for the best demo game.
Oh right.
And we just brought the stuff we play with every week. So this year we thought to make a bit more effort. So we've made everything on here has been purposely made for today.
Excellent.
And it's the first time we put it together. In fact, the first time we put it together was yesterday in the hotel room.
Well, it's looking really good.
It's the first time we ran through the game.
Nice. How long does a typical game take?
Normally it takes an hour and a half.
Oh, right.
But this is going to take all day because we're going to make it take all day.
You're just running, like people drop in and drop out.
And we're using far more figures than you normally would. You normally have 12 on a side.
Right.
So, I mean, the ideal really, a fun game that takes an hour and a half appeals to most people.
Yes.
It's very accessible because anyone could do 12 figures. But today we've got 3 figures on each side.
Yeah.
Because we're doing it just to make it look nice, really.
Yeah.
And impressive.
It does. It looks splendid.
And we're going to be taking this to lots of shows. And the plan is to extend it by another 2 foot.
Right.
And do it as a participation game. And the plan is to have maybe 6 to 8 players playing.
Right.
And maybe 4 different quests they have to achieve. And some of those quests will cross over.
Right.
And the idea is to have continuous play.
Yeah.
So when somebody gets killed and moves on, then we hope to have somebody else.
Someone else can join in. Marvellous. And this is the Fieldcraft UK table, Veteran Support, Mental Health Awareness, History and Remembrance. And we have what I'm guessing is a Battle of the Bulge scenario, situation perhaps. Certainly very snowy. Again, another fantastic layout. Yes, definitely the Bulge, because we have the Piper and Scorzani book here, Elite Series, which I have a copy of myself. In fact, I did a tour of the Bulge battlefields last October, which is up on the channel. The Germans attacking from this side. And there we've got, yes, there's our Skorzeny commandos, Germans in American uniform with a Stug. So with the Stug, that was just like a painted olive drab with a star on the side, but of course they did take some, I think it was Panthers, and try to make them look like M10s, which I don't know how well it worked. I don't think they had as much of an impact as they'd have hoped, the Skorzeny troops, but it's an interesting aspect to any Ardennes game. And this is Derby War Game Society. We've got another bolt action game. Late War, judging by the King Tiger we've got there. We've got what looks like, I would imagine, Germantown. We've got the Germans under attack from the Russians, so an Eastern Front game. There's a very nice village. There's our Russian troops. And here we have a participation game presented by War Games Illustrated, the Roman ruins of the ancient city of Jerash, found in the Kingdom of Jordan. And we've got a marvellous model here, as you can see, of the temple. We have, looks like some Crusader knights defending the temple against attacking Saracens. Again, another skirmish game, participation game. Another excellent build. The standard of tables really is very high. And this is a nice touch. We've got a PDF here that takes you through the construction of the board. I should be having a look at that later. I'll pick up some tips. Now, go big or go home is something you hear quite a lot in certain circles. And lust for glory, a fictitious battle set in Flanders during the War of the Spanish Succession. Have a look at this table. There we go. Now, that's what you call a war game, isn't it? That's, as Partridge might say, classic war gaming.
I assume that I've already done the same.
Probably so, yeah.
So
Just the same, fortunately.
yeah.
Right, I will now shoot because I've realised that gap. So that'll be 3 at minutes at 9.
Between the two, it looks like there's a bit of a kerfuffle developing. I do like the medieval period, just for the colours of it. And who doesn't remember playing with all those old, those Timpo knights and all that kind of stuff when you were a kid? It really brings that back, doesn't it?
So, Second Baron's War, Southern Conference is basically fighting the king.
And bouncing around in time again, we have Harrogate War Games Club with, looks like a Vietnam game here. Certainly we've got a couple of choppers in the air. We've got a ground attack aircraft just over the other side of the table there. And again, look at this amazing terrain.
On the roof. Yeah, okay.
Fantastic detail, even down to the racks of clothes.
So you're going to fire out, okay.
Troops on the rooftops. And the jungle, as always, the jungle awaits. And this is a participation game of Charlie Don't Surf by the Two Fat Lardies. There's that ground attack aircraft perhaps coming in for a strafing run on the bridge here.
On that section there from the sniper, but they are also pinned down.
And of course, just with that Apocalypse Now touch, we've got the patrol boat with the guy with the surfboard as well. Nice.
Sometimes the guys might go like that. It's got
And this is Mr. John Lavender. Now, I'm sure, like most of you, one of my favourite war films, in fact I'd rank it probably alongside Waterloo as a favourite, is Zulu. And it looks like that's what we have here, the Battle of Rorke's Drift. There's our attacking forces. There's our hospital on fire, I see. Mr. Hook in there, is he, I take it?
I've got no foot left yet. There's Hook's still in there.
Oh, he's outside. Splendid. So we have battles going on at one end, we have the traders kind of sandwiched in the middle. I'll see if I can get around a few of them before I go. And of course I'm going to do some shopping. Then the other half of the hall here is games again. And I think these are more participation games now. I think they're all participation games. And I can see a sign, I'm going to head my way to, I see a sign over there for Peterborough War Games Club. A fine group of chaps, and they always put on a good game, so let's go and have a look. So here we are, Peterborough War Games Club, who of course put on the excellent Hereward War Games show every year. I think it's early September this year up in Peterborough. I'm going to be at that running a participation game of my We Want the Gold fantasy skirmish rules. It's a great day if you can make it there. And this looks like a parachute drop. Perhaps we've got some Horsa gliders over the side there. We've got some German defenders. Oh, look at this. We've got the old Airfix gun emplacement kit. Marvellous. I've not seen one of those in the wild for years. Yes, and in the old time-approved fashion, the paras are coming in, being dropped from above to determine their landing position, I imagine. So yeah, Peterborough always put on a great participation game, and they're regulars at the Innsmouth Literature Festival as well, which we organise at the end of September. They've put on some great sort of horror, fantasy, sci-fi games there as well. We have the War Games and Military Modelling Association next, who are from Doncaster. We've got another bolt action game, and look at this, another splendid layout. I think this is possibly France in 1940. We've got a British airfield here. It's a Hurricane. And I'm not sure who we've got attacking. I think there's... right. I spy some Fallschirmjäger. There we go. Looks like they've just landed here. They're attacking the French. We've got a lot of that interesting terrain detail again. We've got a fire engine here. We've got civilians involved. Actually, I could be wrong, because look at this, Campaign Sea Lion. So perhaps I'm thinking actually this might be Operation Sea Lion, which is of course the planned German invasion of England. Yes, that makes sense because our shops all have English names. Is it Operation Sea Lion? Kind of.
Actually, the village is Warmington on Sea.
Ah, right.
Melton moved round to do a different
scenario.
Nice. Got the police in there.
Jones, the butcher.
Yes, I saw that, yeah. Oh, look at that. We've even got the local Morris men getting involved. Warmington on Sea. And Sarissa are here, of course, my favourite building manufacturers. Got a nice little display up there of Viking huts, I imagine, or Dark Ages. I'll be popping back here in a bit to have a browse through all this lot. I have made some of my own Innsmouth buildings recently, some ruins, but I'm always on the lookout for something different. Wings of Glory is a great game. I played this a few times, First World War and Second World War. A good old dogfight is always fun. And that's what we have here, complete with Pickelhaube helmet.
Hello there.
All right. I imagine you don't want to be wearing one of those if you're in a Zeppelin, do you?
No, not at all. We're just splitting down to put some bigger planes out so we can
So you're
do a
running...
bit of a bombing run this afternoon.
Oh, right. Oh, nice. And what's the name of the club, the group?
The Wings of Glory
Aerodrome.
Aerodrome.
Right. So are you the people who produce the rules as well?
No, although the game's produced nowadays by Ares. It used to be Fantasy Flight when it was Wings of War.
Yeah.
But the game's designer, Andrea, he's one of our forum members as well, so
excellent. Nice.
It's kind of quite handy.
Yeah. So you
So we're just going to put some big German bombers.
you're putting the Gotha out and all that stuff. Excellent. I'll come back and have a look at that. So I've just spotted something shining out of the corner of my eye. Let's go and take a look. This is, there we go. We spoke about history earlier. We've got some armour and weapons on display here. Different types of helm, chainmail coif at the end there, and this is from the Northamptonshire Battlefield Society, so just up the road from me actually. In fact, I think I saw these guys before at one of the local shows, and some very nice swords, broadswords, I take it.
Well, they're not all broadswords. That's a hand and a half sword.
Ah, right, yeah.
Because you can use it with one hand or two hands.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as a bastard sword.
I say there's no need for that
There's
sort
neither
of
one thing nor the
language.
other.
Ah, right.
Double
Oh,
sword,
that's
not a single sword.
no, that's why it was called that. Oh,
It's a
excellent.
bastard sword, yeah.
Nice.
It's all made obsolete by the poleaxe, really.
Yes. And here's the Northampton Battlefield Trust game, which is First World War.
Battle of Ronsois, First World War. We're using not quite mechanised rules,
Ah, right.
and they're designed for large-scale operational units.
Ah, right.
This is where Lance Corporal Lewis went as VC in the 6th Northamptons,
Yeah.
which is why the battle's here today, because we're the Northamptonshire Battlefield
You're Northampton.
Society.
Yeah, just chatting to your friend over there. Yeah. So this is an actual
This is
an actual event.
real battle,
Wow. Excellent.
and it's a brigade level action, night attack.
Yeah.
It all went well because at this stage of war, the Brits were very good at what they did.
Right.
And the key to success is hugging the barrage,
Right.
catching the Germans in their dugout.
Right, so they're coming up behind the barrage kind of thing, which calls for very, very good timing and
There's an
coordination.
MTPOW gauge, which by the end of the operation will be completely full.
Ah, excellent. Thank you. And another quite fantastic table here from the Boondock Saints. But look at the scale of this. Fantastic buildings. We've even got interiors to the building here, complete with rugs. Unfortunately, my knowledge of this area of history is rather meagre, so I'm not sure what sides we've got here. Looks like some Indian troops on the elephants there pulling the gun. There we go. I should have started at this end, shouldn't I? The Relief of Lucknow, 1857. And there's one of the most important of all war game supplies in evidence here, the sausage rolls. Indispensable. Again, another fantastic layout with all sorts of detail added in. So I think that's pretty much it for the tables. What I'm going to do now is go shopping, and I'll let you know later on what I've bought. But there's all the usual traders here that are here most years, and one or two new ones. Caliver books. I see Crooked Dice just over the way there. This is Empress Miniatures. We've got War Games Foundry. So as usual, a nice mix of traders, whether it's figures or terrain or books. Some nice terrain pieces here. I'll have a closer browse of those in a minute. And what I like about shows like this, you've got such a wide range of figures as well. From here we've got 15mm forged in battle, 15mm ancients, all the way through to 6mm, 54mm, 28, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever tickles your fancy. So I'm going to switch this off for the moment and start doing some shopping. There we go then. I've had a good look round. I've done some filming, I've done some shopping, and I got the chance to have a good chat with a few people, including Carl at Crooked Dice, the chap from Ruckus. Said hello to Henry. I did see Big Lee, but he was busy talking to people and I was filming, so I didn't get to chat to him. But yeah, overall, an excellent day. I think I've spent about 4 hours or so there, and it's just gone past in a flash. And that's really just going around looking at stuff, not even taking part in anything. It did seem busier this year, certainly at the start. I got here about 10:30 and had to spend a little bit of time finding a parking space. And as you'll know, if you've been here, it's a huge parking area. So very busy to start. It did thin out a little bit, of course, as the day goes on, but it did feel busier than last year. However, when I compare this to Salute, which is a great event, don't get me wrong, I do find Partizan is a little more comfortable to move around. You've got a little more space, you can get to the tables. I was talking to Carl at Crooked Dice, we were saying that Salute, they were like 3 deep at his figure racks, which is great from his point of view, of course. But it can make it a little bit hot and sweaty if you're a punter. The overall standard of games was absolutely fantastic. This really is the best show, I think, for incredible games. And I'm sorry that I didn't film everyone. I've probably filmed about 70-80%, but there were some tables that I just didn't have time to get to. Also, I apologise if I got any details wrong. Sometimes the details of who's running the game or of the details of the game itself aren't always very clear, or that they're at the other end of the board. So I would just say maybe that's something for exhibitors to think about, or clubs. When you put on a game, it's great if you can get one of those banners. I know Bedford Gladiators have one of those. And just put a couple of leaflets out at each end of the table detailing what it is. Most of them did do that, and probably where I've missed those, that's just down to me. Speaking of labelling things, the only other complaint I have, and this is a general complaint because I have the same when I go into shops as well, is for traders to have clear pricing. You either have a ticket on the item itself, or as one of the traders did there, they had a list up next to all their boxes of figures, so you could just go through and very easily see the price. I'm one of those people, I don't know, maybe it's a being British thing. I don't like to ask, really. If I have to ask, I'm probably going to put the thing down and wander off. And I know as a trader myself, I always try and make things very clear. And even then, quite often, I have a box that says everything in this box, £5. Someone will always say, how much is this? You know, but that's the public, God bless them. So I would just say that as a trader, please make sure you have your prices on display clearly. I find that encourages people to buy, because I think, certainly speaking personally, I'm kind of put off if I have to pick up 5 things and go, how much is that, how much is that, how much is that? That's a very minor quibble. Other than that, excellent day again. All right, let's get into the shopping then. Birthday presents, right? Now, there was nothing particularly specific I was looking for. I'm always on the lookout for things for my Innsmouth build, which I'm using as a setting a lot for my We Want the Gold games at the moment. And there's going to be some participation versions of that coming up at future events, particularly Hereward, as I mentioned. So I'm always on the lookout for interesting buildings I can add to that. And of course, Sarissa came up trumps again. I've got 2 statue plinths. I've got a couple of nice ideas for statues that can go on there as part of Innsmouth Town Centre. And at Salute, I bought from Sarissa some railway tracks because, of course, in the Shadow over Innsmouth story, at one point, the narrator, the hero, flees along the disused railway track. So I thought, if I've got an old railway track, it would be nice to have like an abandoned carriage. So I got that one as well. That will be painted up in a suitably Innsmouth distressed and grungy fashion. So that was something specific. In terms of figures, I've been looking for sort of 1920s, 1930s type figures. Nothing really caught my eye, but I did find this chap. Now, this is Hayland Miniatures, who I've bought from before. I'm not sure if this is from The Walking Dead, maybe, or one of those kind of series, but that's a chap with one leg pointing a pistol. I thought that's a great little character figure for We Want the Gold, because the way the rules work, when you create your characters, they can have special abilities, but if they have a disadvantage as well, they get an extra ability. So there's, I guess, what we might call an obvious disadvantage. I thought that would make for an interesting player character figure for the game. And on the same theme, We Want the Gold at the moment is fantasy setting. I'm going to be bringing out a version that is historical. So that will be sort of Napoleonic, Gothic and modern, all with the same idea. And I spotted these, which I'd never seen before. These were a tenner. Chaos in Carpathia. I'll probably do a review of these on the channel at some point. Gothic horror skirmish battles. So this sort of stuff is great because, of course, it gives you ideas to borrow from in terms of not so much game mechanics, because I've got all my game mechanics sorted out, but things like special abilities and artifacts and settings and scenarios. So I'm going to be having a good look at that later on. And finally, just on a whim, you have to have a sort of spontaneous buy. 28mm World War II German zombies. Look at those. 15 quid for 20 figures, a good price. And they come in this nice plastic case as well. Now, I haven't got a clue what I'm going to use these for yet, but already the idea, the seed of a scenario has been planted in my mind for the horror skirmish thing, right? If we do a modern version, then German zombies, they've got to fit in there somewhere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting those painted up. I might even break them out into a World War II game at some point. Just bring those onto the table at random. Isn't life full of surprises? So that's it for today then. Thanks for watching. If you did have the chance to come here, I hope you had a good a time as I did. I'm always interested to hear any feedback. What game or what table stood out the most for you? Did you get any interesting items in your shopping that you're that you're prepared to own up to? Anyway, it's between friends. I won't tell anyone, honest. And if you didn't make it, I hope this gives you some feel of the atmosphere and the kind of games that were going on. I think what I might do on my next visit is see if I can take part in at least one of the participation games, because generally when I'm going around filming, I sort of miss that aspect. So I might do less filming of the whole event next time and do a report instead on a particular participation game. Perhaps Ruckus, because that really caught my eye. And speaking to the chap, it sounded like we have very similar ideas in terms of skirmish games, and that really was an excellent layout. So maybe next time I'll do a report on that. Okay, time to head southward, back down the A1 to leafy Bedfordshire. Thanks again for joining me today. As always, if you haven't already, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. Do pop a comment below, and I'll see you soon.